Rolling. Hello everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very, very well. We're outside Stamford Bridge. Hey Charlie, we just found out Crystal Palace beat Liverpool as well. Chelsea 4-1. Great day.
Yeah, it's been a good day, mate. Sun shining, 4 goals, 6 goals in 2 games, 2 cups. Maybe a holiday to Malta as well, who knows? Yeah, mate, free sunglasses and all that. I mean, I don't know if Malta's struggling for tourism, but they're pushing that heavy to try and get people to go there, innit, this weekend. But
have you ever been to Malta?
Can't say I have, mate. But you just told me you're going to go on holiday, maybe. So maybe you should go Malta after this, mate.
I'll be honest with you. I want to go to Istanbul and watch the Fenerbahce Galatasaray. That's what I really want.
Mate, you might have to rethink that now after this weekend.
Well, go back to...
Maybe go to Malta, innit?
Fair enough.
They've been pushing that hard. Yeah, you don't want to let them down. They've given us 2 lovely trophies, haven't they, from the Malta Tourism Board. So, yeah, it'd be rude not to.
We're going to add that to the cabinet. Is that going in the cabinet?
Mate, where do they go?
There's just so many.
Mate, maybe they do put them in a cabinet. Surely they can't put them in a
Tottenham have any extra storage.
Mate, why was it one trophy?
We could loan.
Mate, it was 1 trophy for each match. I don't really understand a pre-season trophy thing, but yeah, whatever. You take it and you move on. But yeah, maybe it goes in a museum.
I'm not going to say no.
No, exactly. It's better to have it than not have it.
Talk to me about the weekend. I mean, obviously we had the game on Friday against Leverkusen, and then we've played Milan again today. I personally didn't really understand why we played 2 games in such quick succession. I think one of the arguments was that we wanted to test out the new ticketing software, and the other side was, the players just need a run in before the league starts. I am actually surprised how many minutes some of our players played.
Well, to be honest, mate, I think what we found out today is that team that started, that's pretty much going to be the team that starts against Crystal Palace. So I think you saw that like the majority of the guys that started, they played 60 minutes. Those are going to be the guys who all start on next Sunday. And then the other ones that came on, obviously came on to get some minutes and obviously give those lads a bit of a rest. But I was surprised at how little rotation there was to begin with and how strong the side was. But when you actually think about it, it makes sense. That's going to be the team that plays against Palace, get them 60, 65 minutes in the legs, try and get a bit of gelling back together again and all that. And that's probably why. So I think that'll be the team that pretty much starts. But maybe 1 or 2 might change. But yeah, that's probably why.
Is there anything you would change?
No, I don't think so, mate. I don't think so at all. I mean, mate, going forward, we look ridiculous. We look really, really good. Joao Pedro scoring again. Mate, what we said last season about Neto. Give him someone who's actually going to move in the box. Give him someone to aim for in that box. Good in the air, intelligent footballer. Joao Pedro there, whips the ball in, header, goal. Going forward, just looks really, really dangerous. Gittins, I didn't think was as good as he was when he come on Friday night, but looks promising. He's direct, he's quick, dribbles. He's comfortable in them half spaces as well, which is obviously a little bit different to Madueke. And you can perhaps see why Madueke has actually been moved on, because I think the likes of Gittins, the rest of ours and stuff, they actually offer a lot more from the limited stuff that we've seen of them.
Are you talking about quality though, or enthusiasm? Because I look at Gittins, for example, and I still see a player who's relatively raw, but I see a real enthusiasm to go for players and just have a crack. And I think actually Madueke, when he first comes to Chelsea, probably had that.
Yeah.
And I think that gradually went down. Not to slate him or anything, because that's not my intention here, but there's just moments where you look at last season, or the season we had, and the amount of times we were in that position and then we would pass backwards or take the safe option. It's so refreshing seeing Gittins dribble past a player or whip a cross in, whatever it is, or Gittins have a shot, not Gittins, Esteval having a shot. That is something that I feel like we had in our locker last season, but we didn't do it enough.
No, we didn't. And do you know what? I didn't even think the attack needed sort of a major revamp. But, there's 3 signings that come in. You're looking to complete deals with Xavi Simons and Garnacho. That's 5 new attacking signings. Jackson, Nkunku, Felix, Madueke, probably going to be 4 attackers out by the end of the window. I didn't think the attack needed that much of a major revamp. But you can see from the Club World Cup, you can see from these 2 games over the last 3 days that the attack is a lot more exciting and looks a lot better, a lot more fluid. Players seem to understand each other better, and we just seem to be a lot more dangerous going forward. We've got clinical players in the box now. Delap with 2 goals today. Obviously, Pedro scoring again. And, Esteval a threat, Gittins a threat, Neto a threat. It's just looking a lot better.
No, it is, and just the general style all over, right? We're not relying on individuals. It didn't look like it. It felt like we were looking like a team. If there was a phase, it was 1, 2, 3, ball goes through. Not just one player dribbling past everyone or a lucky shot. Although We did have a couple of shots from outside. I mean, Palmer had them 2 free kicks, hit the post on one of them.
One of them hit the post, yeah. And look, do you know what? The only sort of maybe slight downside I would say is I was a little bit concerned on a couple of occasions, even when they were down to 10 in that first half, especially how easy it was for them to burst through midfield and be in on goal. I think there was one moment when Maresca was not happy about that on the sidelines, at how easy Milan had managed to break through us. So maybe like 1 or 2 things defensively. Look, Chalobah went off, but I don't think he looks injured. He seemed to be like he was walking all right. He was walking fine, but again, that doesn't necessarily mean that everything's fine if you're walking. But obviously, it's better that he's walking than that he's not walking or whatever. But I would still personally be looking at going for another centre back, just purely because you can't trust Fofana or Badiashile to stay fit. Fofana didn't play no part in these games. Is he going to be fit to go straight in against Crystal Palace next weekend? Probably, maybe, but probably not. Badiashile's not going to be back until start of September at the earliest. And then you've got Josh Achimpong, who's obviously a young guy, a lot of talent, a lot of ability, but that's a big, ask to put on him to step in and play week in, week out. So,
and Samino?
Bro, he's going to go on loan. He's not going to be part of the situation. So I do think
Vega?
He's done. I do think we need to look at getting another centre back. But other than that, mate, I'm really impressed by what I've seen. I'm really excited by what I've seen. And do you know what? This is the first time in a good 2, 3, 4 years where the feel around the place is great and there's genuine excitement heading into a new season, which is really refreshing. And I think a lot of people felt that maybe the Club World Cup might have set us back a little bit. They're going to be tired and there might be a bit of a hangover from that success. But if anything, mate, we've had 3 weeks off, but we still look seriously sharp. We look fit. You're not going to lose much really in 3 weeks. And maybe this is actually acted as a bit of a catalyst for us to go in with some serious momentum, because it's not looking like it's had any effect on us right now. Maybe as you get towards October, November, December, when the Christmas period and things start picking up and you get a lot of fixtures, maybe we might start to feel it then. But man, I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing at the moment.
I think the argument was that we'd feel sort of almost sluggish because... Not sluggish, that's not the right word. We've just come off of a competition. Players are going to get tired mentally more than anything. But I think we look sharp. And I think part of the reason for that is because we were playing. So I think it's working just as much in our favour as it will against us. But then that goes back to your point. We could start the season off great like we did before. We have to continue past sort of the new year. And that's where we really struggled. So, I mean...
But I think we've got... But what I would say to that is that I think now, with the depth we've got and the quality in depth, which is the biggest, and the quality in depth we've got now, I don't think that should be as much of a problem. You've got Andre Santos to come in. You've got Esteval coming in.
Yes.
Think about if you add Javi Simmons to the squad as well, another option. Obviously, Garnacho, if he comes, or when he comes, should I say, that's another option again. Esugu can come on and give Caicedo rest when needed. The options that we've now got in the squad, that should hopefully negate any of those issues. And, I felt... As a spectacle, the game was a little bit spoilt with a red card. I mean, look, red card is a red card. I feel like in pre-season, maybe you just let that slide a little bit.
I thought it was actually quite harsh.
Just because, I mean, that guy, 21 years old, red card and an own goal in the first 20 minutes or whatever it was. Bad afternoon for him. But you just sort of like, when it's pre-season, you want a test against, a full team and that. But, I mean, Milan sat a bit deeper, low block and stuff. Maybe that was useful for us to try and break that down. I certainly think that Esteval could be a very useful weapon against a low block. When he came on, obviously he wasn't linking up as much as he did the other day, maybe because obviously Palmer weren't on the pitch with him there. He was looking to do a lot more himself, dribbles, take on, step overs, that sort of thing, getting a few shots off. But, he looks more than ready to me to make an impact. I'm not saying he's going to start every week, but he looks ready to make an impact, starting some weeks, coming off the bench. So the options we've got are really exciting. And, big game for Delap as well. I've seen him come in for quite a lot of criticism, surprisingly after... I don't know, surprisingly after that Leverkusen game. But he's come back, gets the penalty, and then the other one's a great striker's finish as well. So all good things going forward, really good for the confidence. And, to be honest, mate, it's gone much better than we could have expected.
It's very pleasant covering Chelsea, isn't it, and having these chats when we win these games. The amount of times... I remember we were standing over there and Father and Steve were having it out because Father wasn't creating enough atmosphere in Matthew Harding.
I seen him today, mate. He wasn't. He was just sat there, weren't you, mate?
I was with someone anyway. But
That's great.
Yeah, no, it's not. It is not. It just makes such a difference, though, doesn't it? Like, when obviously you can't do well all the time, but when it's been, a few difficult, like, not obviously last season turned out pretty good, but when it's been like sort of couple of really difficult seasons where nothing's gone right for us, nowhere near competing, it is really refreshing, and it's just nice to see everyone in good spirits and the team doing well, and the fans obviously, connecting well with the players. We brought exciting players in. I don't think you can argue with any of the business that we've done, that we've improved in terms of what's come in with what's gone out. We've upgraded. So, yeah, I think there's a lot to be positive about, man, and a lot to look forward to this season, 100%.
If you had to put someone else in, so we've got another centre-back option we're looking at, who stands out to you?
I mean, look, I think Mark Guerhy's the obvious one. But again, I don't know how likely that is to happen. Only because right now, when you look at it, you want to bring someone in at the back who is going to need minimal to no adaptation period. There's no point bringing in someone from like 21, 22 years old from, say, Italy, Germany, Spain or whatever. They're going to need time to adapt. Whereas Guerhy knows the Premier League. He's a Chelsea boy. He's come through the academy, 25 years old, can play in a 3, can play in a 4, brings leadership qualities. It just makes sense. And then when Colwell comes back, Guerhy can also act as a rotation option as well. So for me, that's the most obvious choice and the one that makes the most sense. Whether that's going to happen, whether they're going to make a move for him, I don't know. But we do need a centre-back, but I would also caveat that by saying there's really no point bringing in someone who's like 19, 20, 21. That just doesn't really make sense.
So who would your back four be against Crystal Palace?
Probably what started today. Tosin, Chalobah, James and Cucurella. That will be the back four that starts. But again, I'm not... A Tosin and Chalobah partnership, I think it's okay for a few games, but if you're relying on that for the bulk of a season, I'm not entirely sure. And I'm not entirely sure on an Action-Pong Chalobah partnership either. So I do think you need one more in there. I mean, look, if Fofana particularly could show that he didn't have any fitness issues, that it wouldn't be as big a problem. No. But because the backup options we've got, or the other options we've got, you can't rely on them, that makes it a lot more of a difficult situation for us.
I'm with you on that. I'm feeling pretty confident against Palace, but at the same time, you just never know what's going to happen in the opening game. What's your score prediction going into that one?
Yeah, it's
Put
tough.
You on the spot.
It's tough, mate, isn't it? Because obviously we've done well, Club World Cup win, a couple of great performances here. Palace on a high as well, winning today at Wembley in a Community Shield. I know people say it doesn't mean much, but winning's winning.
You've won just as many trophies as we have.
Yeah,
now.
you want to keep that winning momentum going. Winning is never a bad thing. That's going to be a tough game. They've not lost any of their players. They've kept Guerhy so far. Eze's not gone anywhere yet. Adam Wharton's top player, dangerous going forward. Ismail Assar Mateta is going to cause problems. We didn't beat Palace last season. It was 2 draws, 1-1, I think, in both games. Look, I think we've got the quality and I think we've got enough, but it'll be a tough ask. I'm going to go 2-1, but
2-1 Chelsea.
It's going to be difficult. It will be tough.
Big up to you, Charlie.
Nice one.
Thank you, mate.